Welcome back to Stargate TWIG. I am your Gate Master, Mike the Birdman, only on ThisWeekInGeek.net, and we are traveling through the Stargate network to planet JP-23, where, well, we have unusual things from the blob to plant zombies to mysterious samples that could potentially change the war against the Goa'uld. It's a strange time to be a member of the military, to say the very least. But leading our valiant heroes through the Stargate is, of course, the man from another planet, otherwise known as New Jersey.
Ken Rails playing Saul, and also being very surprised how many people died last week.
Well, we lost Onaran, and we lost Eve, and we lost a bunch of scientists. So, yeah, there's a significant body count. But joining us from the city formerly known as New Berlin,
Alex playing Dr. Bob.
And of course, from a place that is no longer covered in ice and snow, but a place where this guy is most often bored at work.
JT from Saskatoon.
That's right. So we are back here. All right, guys. So we're going to jump right back into
you
it.
Forgot
so
somebody, Mike.
What?
Ken.
No, Ken was the first guy to go.
Oh shit! Sorry,
no
I've ruined the magic of audio.
You have. All right, so moving forward. All right, so when we last left our adventurers, they were just about to exit the covered bridge that's connected out to the outside where they would go to the mess hall where they were looking for Hershey bars, of all things. That's right. They have found out that chocolate slows down the process due to a unique chemical bonding agent within it, which will slow down the infection long enough to a cure to be synthesized and aerosolized into the air, hopefully saving other members of the Stargate team that was assigned to this base. But something is running wild in the vents as well. Okay, so once again, it is nighttime. There's a huge raging thunderstorm outside. And what are you guys going to do? Because the door that would be powered doesn't slide open. In order for you to get outside, you can force the doors or you can break the glass and make a run for it.
Well, I'm going to force the door because I think like it's me and Bob that have pretty good strength. What's your strength, Alex?
Oh, well, I was going to say, I'm looking at my sheet to see, do I have anything I could just cut the glass with? Or like, would my friggin' fingers be able to do it?
I'm going to rule no.
I have a clack blade.
Yeah.
So that's not really
a glass cutting tool.
Yeah, the shotgun would do it, but that's a
bit loud.
If we're going with strength, I have a +1 to strength.
Okay, so I definitely will be doing this because I have a +4.
I have a +3 to athletics. Now, if we look anywhere, is there a way to get into the vents above to crawl in?
No, because this leads right outside.
Why do you insist on going right into the amoeba's path?
Yeah. Can we dig?
No.
It's door or nothing.
Dress.
Which I'm going to roll athletics.
Does anybody have a screwdriver we can just like take the hinges
Actually,
off?
This would be a straight strength roll if you're going to force the door.
Perfect. That's perfectly fine.
However, you did say screwdriver. If any of you has an engineering toolkit or a small toolkit, I will allow each of you to roll a d20 to see if it might be in your standard gear. And I'm looking for a very high number here because it's so specialized.
Carter has a multi-tool.
I have a med kit. I don't have. I don't have any other kit.
Yeah, no. I do not have anything that would genuinely give me a screwdriver.
So we got like a crowbar.
Would a multi-tool work, Mike, or is it like one of those things that's like hammer, axe, crowbar? Multi-tool?
Yeah, it would be like your standard kit for that.
Actually, I'm going to ask Dr. Hugh, do you happen to have a screwdriver on you in your pocket? Because we didn't actually check him.
He goes, I don't have one, but there might be something in one of the labs if you wanted to go look.
No,
we do not have the time for that. I'm breaking this door.
All right, Ken, roll me strength pure.
That is 17 plus 4. So Yeah, 21.
All right, you are able to shatter the glass as it's that safety glass. You're able to bust it open and it crackles and breaks under the force of the butt of one of your guns. And you can hear just the wind and the rain just howling and thunder going, but you are outside. Now we're going to see if those things notice you.
Mm-hmm.
They do. It's a
Course.
15. It's
Carter?
You're probably about, like I said, probably about 200 feet away from this thing. There are picnic tables interspersed. So if you wanted to dodge around stuff, you could in theory do that. You know, there are at least 15 of these things out there, potentially 14, as you did see one of those soldiers or somebody dead in lab 1. Mm-hmm. So that number is a little lower, but you're also not 100% sure.
As much as I would love to preserve life, I think preserving the people that are sane is possibly the best plan of action, but we're not going to necessarily fire at them unless they get super close. So we are going to book it to get our chocolate and then try and book it back.
Okay,
no,
everybody.
I was going to say, I am a tropics adept, meaning I don't suffer any disadvantages to ability checks caused in fog or rainy weather or thunderstorms or anything.
Yep.
I'm also have pretty high deception. I'm going to do the slithery thing. I'm going to go on all fours because I've got the doctor on my back, but I'm a big ass target when I'm standing up with a person strapped to my back. So I'm going to sort of crawl through the grass and try to. They might be booking it, but I'm going to book it, but on all fours in like the tall grass.
Well, it's a well-maintained compound, so there is
no
shit. There's nothing there.
Well, shit. So I don't think I'm any faster on all fours in this case then.
All right, so everybody roll me athletics.
Come on, baby. That's a 13.
Okay. Who got the highest?
Let me see here. Just 1 second. That is with athletics. That is 13 as well.
Okay.
23.
All right. So I'm going to roll for Hendricks and for Matthews as 1.
Please don't fuck up.
They got 18.
Okay.
All right. Good. So Saul and Hendricks and Matthews are the first to arrive. And as you see your other compatriots falling behind you, you hear these things just start screaming and running at you. Between flashes of lightning, you see, well, what I would effectively call spore zombies running at you.
So they're coming at us?
Yes, they are. They're coming towards the sound.
Us specifically.
You guys specifically.
Okay.
They noticed you breaking the glass and they saw movement.
Okay.
So you come up to the cafeteria door. It is sealed.
Of course it is. And I'm guessing the power's out.
Yep.
All right. Busting this fricker open.
All right, go for it.
And that is a 22.
All right. You give this thing your hardest shoulder. The door kind of breaks off its one hinge, and you're able to get in. Everybody comes in behind you. These things are rushing the door. They will be at the door. I'm rolling a D6 here in 2 rounds. So you got about 30 seconds to figure a way to barricade this door.
Any kind of material? I'm going to roll perception to find any kind of like metal or any kind of material that we can use to just kind of like
as you look around in the low light that is in the room, because emergency power is on.
I also have low light vision. So.
Okay, so all right, so you look around. You see a couple of vending machines. You see some of those big long tables, some chairs, a card table, and a pool table.
How many pool cues?
About 10.
Taking all 10 and gonna try and barricade the door with the 10 pool cues. That'll hold us for a little bit.
And I'm going to grab the pool table and slide it in front.
Okay,
Yeah,
that will definitely require a strength roll.
Okay,
And
dokies.
pool tables are very heavy, so...
I'm gonna roll to assist.
Okay, go for it. So you are both rolling with advantage right now because you're helping each other.
Okay.
Nat 20.
17.
Okay, so you are able to slide the pool table up against the doors. You jam the pool cues in the doors that you would push out, so they're kind of wedged in there. The door is about as well barricaded as it could be. And I'm going to roll on 2d6s. This is how long those doors will hold for. They will hold for a minimum of 8 minutes.
All right. Well, that's
we add one of the
that's
vending
enough
machines with that. Add anything, Mike?
I can't hear you, JT. What?
Said if we shove one of the vending machines up, like to brace the pool table, would that add anything?
Yes. If somebody wants to try and lift one of the vending machines or slide it over.
I'll do it.
I'll assist, Bob.
Okay.
Okay. All of you roll with strength.
That is 14.
Okay.
13.
15.
Okay. It will add another, rolling a d6 here for minutes. It'll add another 1 minute to it.
Not good enough.
Yeah. So basically you have about 10 minutes.
Give or take.
All right. So you look around the room. Like I said, Saul, you can see everything. You said you see everything I described. You see a kitchen area. You see a bunch of boxes stacked against the back wall. You see a freezer area, a kitchen area, and a place where people could presumably hang out and kind of do whatever. You see like a TV area kind of set up too.
Gonna check the boxes that are stacked in the back.
All right,
first.
you check the boxes in the back. You see Skittles, you see peanuts, you see gum, you see mints, you see Hershey's bars, Twix bars, and an awful lot of Crispy Crunch.
Well, anything that's chocolate, how many? That would make 3 boxes. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
3 boxes of chocolate.
Did the Canadians
candies
provide Crispy Crunch? Because I don't think that's in the States.
Yes. There are Canadian soldiers on base.
Yo, right here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna carry 1 box. Who's the best shot out of all of us?
Probably not me.
Yeah. Well, I would assume
Who has
Bob's
the highest?
gonna carry it.
Yeah, who has the highest dexterity?
My dex is 14.
I think it's Carter.
All right, Carter,
Honestly.
you are the best shot here. So you are the group sharpshooter.
Yep. So me, Hendrix, and Bob are gonna carry the 3 boxes of chocolate candy, and we are going to try and we're gonna try and do our best. I'm assuming there's only one entrance.
Yeah, there's just...
Yeah.
Actually, if you look around, give me a perception check.
Yeah.
Well, there'd have to be a service entrance.
I'm about to say yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm like...
Dirty 20.
Yep, you look around. You do see the
15.
service entrance at the back of the kitchen.
We're going to go that way while they're distracted with that door.
As you hear that, you do hear something coming from inside the freezer.
Mm-hmm. Is there a window to the freezer?
Yes.
I'm going to look in there.
You look in there and you see a guy hiding in the corner holding a kitchen knife, and he's kind of backed up against a bunch of frozen meats and vegetables, and he's just kind of pointing at the window saying, "Who the hell are you?"
Well, it's reasonable to assume that he's not infected because it doesn't like the cold.
This is Commander Saul from SG Command. We encountered. We were here to basically relieve some of the members of your team. and basically, long story short, we're in the process of slowing the infection and actually curing it.
I'm just the cook, man.
I guess
want to go home.
I guess what I should do is Dr. Bob walks up to the window, turns around so Dr. Hugh can look in, because at least a friendly face might help.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's you. Tuesday special. Oh, thank God." Okay.
Tuesday special.
I'm going to unlock the door now. And comes out, and you see this scared looking young black man comes out. The kid can't be any older than probably 20 something. And he's like, "You, Mark, what the fuck is going on? I've been in that room for 2 fucking days. I pooped in there."
I was going to say, he probably would be dead in real life because the freezer. Have you ever been in a deep freeze like that, Mike?
I've been locked inside of one, yes, and it sucks.
Okay.
I worked at a pizza place and the door shut on me and no one decided to check on me for an hour and a half.
Okay, so then you know. So he had to have had a jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Can you handle a firearm, son?
Yeah, sure, I guess. Maybe. Why not?
Carter's just like, "Sir, he's been stuck in there for a while. I don't know if he's going to have the physical dexterity to operate a firearm effectively in this situation."
For now, we're going out. We're going to be booking it back to the main facility.
Just saying.
So chances are he's going to warm up real quick.
Yeah. What's your name, kid?
Bobby.
Bobby, grab another box of the Crispy Crunch.
Okay. Why are we talking about chocolate when there's monsters?
Grab
if you don't mind me
box
asking.
of the Crispy Crunch, and he just steps forward very, like, to intimidate him. Do I need to roll for that?
No, he's like, "Yeah, sure, because why not? This isn't the weirdest shit I've seen in 2 days."
Trust me, son, there are weirder things out there.
Oh, good news. So, you have met up with Bobby.
You say that talking to the wolf man and the lizard man.
Yeah, wolf and lizard guy. This doesn't faze him, but he remembers Tuesday special.
Yeah, walking salads, on the other hand.
So, all right. So he grabs a box of the Crispy Crunch bars, which, if you've ever handled confectionaries, those boxes can get pretty big and pretty heavy. So, because they're the distributor's box. So there's probably about over 100 bars in this box.
Well, that's a plus.
All right. He grabs it. He's like, "All right. So now what?"
All right, Bobby. We're taking that service exit and booking it back to the main facility. Now, trust me, it's going to be scary as shit. That's the bad news. The good news is, if we get there, everything will be... We have Dr. Kelly manifesting a antidote for whatever the crap made everyone these zombies.
He goes, Dr. Kelly. Right. Vegan girl. Yes. I know her. I like her. She's good. She's easy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He's very panicked.
I tell him to stay in front of me. I'll stay at the back because I'm probably the slowest carrying somebody.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah. Stay right in front of Dr. Bob.
All right, so...
And hopefully we can get back.
All right, so you approach the service door. You start creaking it open.
Is there anything there?
You don't see anything. If you want to roll me a perception check, you might get some more information, but immediately you don't see anything.
Rolling perception.
Yeah.
That is
12.
15.
19.
Looking around and listening, you hear mostly everything is out front. around the back, it seems completely empty. Although,
awesome.
as you look around, you notice the base's power is starting to flicker a touch. You like those big floodlights that are by the motor pool. You do notice them start to flicker and power down for a second, but then they come right back up.
Great.
Better hurry, sir.
Yep. We're on borrowed time at this point. All right. Move out.
All right. So, in order to sneak back into the base, if that's actually, what is your plan from here? Are you going to go back to Dr. Kelly? Are you going to go to cold storage, or what is your plan?
Given the fact that
we're
now,
over encumbered carrying stuff, we should probably bring it to her before we go anywhere else, right?
We should reform back at Dr. Kelly and then take the next trip to cold storage, and hopefully we can drag enough. We take the cold storage, book it, and bring all the other zombies back to us, where Dr. Kelly can just administer the vaccine aerosol to everyone.
Okay. All right. So everybody roll me a stealth check.
Let's hope.
I'm going to roll for all the NPCs as one.
Nat 20, 22 total.
18.
16.
6.
Son of a...
All right. So as you creak open the door, that goes fine. You start walking around the edge of the building. You peek your head around. You start seeing at least 10 of these things pounding at the front door. They do not notice you. But as you start to walk towards the building, because it's raining, one of the boxes is starting to get weak from all the constant rain pounding at it. So Bobby's trying to balance it without the bottom falling out of it. And he kind of trips for a second. He catches himself. He doesn't fall flat on his face. But he goes up. But there's definitely an audible, "Oh, shit!" And everything in the immediate vicinity turns its head and looks at you. I'm going to roll once.
Damn it, Bobby.
To see if they see you. But they've heard you for sure.
Can you fly, Bobby?
All right. The NPCs have rolled. Oh, I'm going to roll that again because it moved and I moved my dice tray. So I'm going to roll at disadvantage. So I'm rolling twice. First roll is a 15. Second roll, this one counts, unless it's lower, 14. Some of them have noticed you. 3 of the creatures start moving away from the door, almost like they're starting to smell the air. And they start slowly making their way towards you, kind of moving back and forth, like they're moving their shoulders and their feet. So they're moving a little oddly. They're not moving like a person would.
Let's try and pick up the pace.
All right. Everybody roll me a stealth check again.
Nat 20.
14.
6.
All right. Rolling for NPCs as 1 with 1 dice. 5.
Son of a bitch.
So Carter, you had rolled a 6, right?
Yeah.
As you guys start approaching the doors, which would lead you back inside, the bottom falls out of one of the boxes. About half of the contents spill out, but not everything. Do the monsters see you? I'm going to roll again. I'm going to say they're rolling at disadvantage because it is so loud outside. 11. 19. They don't notice you. All right. So you creak through the Actually, everybody roll. You will be at disadvantage to get back inside because of the broken glass. Or
I don't get disadvantage because I'm a tropics adept.
True, but you have to walk on broken glass to get inside.
We have to walk through broken glass.
I don't have to walk on shit. I'll walk on the wall. I'm a damn lizard.
However, you do have 2 ways in. The door that has the broken glass, leads inside, and those doors do have power, or you can try the other emergency exit, which nobody has touched yet, but is untested. So you've got 2 options here.
High or low, guys?
High.
High.
All right, 18. All right, we're going for the emergency exit.
Okay, so you decide to walk around the covered walkway, and because some of the light is kind of spilling out, you haven't noticed any of the creatures immediately in your vicinity. You do see one standing by the door, but its back's to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to be just kind of standing there.
Should we stab it?
You could take it out.
Maybe that's a good idea.
The way... Everybody roll me perception, and let's see if you pick up on this information.
I got a 6.
Nat 20.
All right, Saul. So with your low light...
I got, let's see, what's 18 plus my thing? What's my perception? That's 20, but not nat 20.
Okay, so Saul and Dr. Bob, you're able to get a good look at this person. It's definitely one of the soldiers. They're definitely infected, but probably not as badly as the others. This person seems to be halfway through the infection, which means they're likely still mostly human. But you don't know what their mental state is.
All right, can I sneak up on him and just cover his mouth and go shh?
And just like
turn him around and go shh.
Roll me.
Nerve
right.
pinch his ass.
All right, Dr. Bob, you can roll that. You can roll a stealth check with advantage.
Okay. 16.
Okay, roll it again. And if you get something higher, you get something better.
18.
Okay, so you are able to sneak up behind this person. As you grab him from behind, you hear this person kind of whimper, "Help."
No. I go, shh, quiet. We're here to help. Just stay quiet.
Okay. All right. So
All right. And you know what? Because I'm a little worried about this guy, I'm going to do something I forgot that I had in my kit, and you approved it.
Yep.
I have duct tape. I'm duct taping his mouth shut. He can still breathe through his nose. I just don't want the help to switch into later on.
All right. Okay.
So I tell him, shh, this will help. I duct tape around his head, cover his mouth.
All right.
Come with us.
All right. You do, and you lead this soldier inside. And the door, because it's service door, it's always open. So you come back inside to lab 1. You come back inside, the power starts to flicker on and off, but most things are still active. So it's you, Bobby, the soldier, and Dr. Hugh on your back. And obviously Hendricks and Matthews. Okay.
How's the temperature going along?
You can start to see your breath in the air.
Good.
So things are definitely cold.
Good.
All right. So you come back to Dr.
Bobby have a retort to the coldness.
He's like, I hate you guys, but just get me home.
Well, then you'll love us, right?
All right. So you approach Dr. Kelly's lab. She's still got her back to you. She's still working. She has synthesized probably enough of the thing to put into the aerosol canister. Now she just has to install the unit in the central area. So
all right.
She looks at you and notice you have 2 more people with you. She looks at Bobby and she looks at the soldier who's clearly infected. She says, who are these people and why did you bring them into my clean lab? You know what? It doesn't matter. We are out of time.
Agreed.
You telling me you don't recognize the guy that makes all your vegan meals for you? Come on, where's the respect?
You see those two kind of exchange looks. You kind of get the feeling it's a little more than that. So you can see he has a sense of relief. She has a sense of shock that he's still alive.
Carter looks at Bobby and he just gives this very respect. Huh.
All right. So Kelly says, okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to bring the unit outside. So she grabs this canister. It's probably about as long as your forearm. And it's filled with more of the same liquid plus some other materials. So she's like, okay, we have to install this in the HVAC system. We have to do that in the central lab. It'll take me about 15, 20 minutes to get it hooked up.
Well, that's good. Then we can... So we're going to... All right. So you do that, Doctor. We're going to first load up on chocolate. Secondly, go and get the CO2 so we can make sure that we're safe from that amoeba. And I very hushly say the word amoeba because I don't want to freak Bobby out.
Dr. Hughes speaks up. He goes, we've got to get that sample. If we're leaving off this planet, we got to make sure we can at least bring it with us.
Which is what we're going to do now.
Okay.
So in order to kind of calm Bobby down a little bit more, Carter slaps him on the back, grabs a couple of Crispy Crunch, and then head nods towards Dr. Kelly and gives him a wink with a smile on his face. It's like, good job, bud.
All right, so you hand him the chocolate bar and very much in the Ghostbusters. You've earned it.
Twinkie.
He starts to eat it and he starts to feel better, and everybody moves to operations, as it were. So Kelly gets up on a step ladder, has Bobby hand her the canister, and goes, just make sure nothing gets through that door until we are ready. Because everybody's got to be dosed at once.
Right. So we got to go. Before we do that, we're going to get the sample. Then we make a massive amount of sound. So we got to book it to get that sample, come back, and we bust that. We make a lot of noise and bring everyone right here.
Yeah. Okay. So, how are you guys going to proceed? You could go through the laboratory corridors, or you could go outside again and sneak around the buildings.
We're gonna go through the lab corridors, and I'm going to hand Bobby a pistol and go, you're staying with the doctor here?
He goes, uh-huh.
And this is for you in case anything goes wrong. Hopefully, nothing will go wrong.
He's like, all right. Okay.
I'm gonna suggest that we don't leave Duct Tape Man with them.
We are not leaving Duct Tape Man with them. We're gonna take some of the bloody lab coats and strap him to my back.
This is backpack quest.
And before we leave, Carter's just looks at every weapons checks, just where that thing in any action movie where they check the clip out, check the action, reload and all that, just to make sure the weapons are working and there's no chance of a jam. Fingers crossed.
Yep. All right. We're booking it through the hallways.
All right, so you start going through so you go through lab 1. You've already been through there. That's fine. You pass into lab 2. There's been an environmental malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
The entire lab is coated in ice.
Of course it has.
As you walk into the lab, well, you see something you didn't quite expect. You see a giant, some kind of a formation of frost and snow with a hand sticking out of it in the corner.
I can only assume that is the amoeba frozen to shit.
That is one of them frozen to shit.
Exactly.
So as you go through that lab, once again, this lab seemed like it was in better shape than the previous one. Like this one didn't see any firefights in it. Just like it's almost like this lab was taken completely by surprise. As you proceed to lab 3, the pressurized doors open. The lab is not cold at all.
Okay.
As you enter the lab,
even though we've had the environment for the whole building slowly turning down.
Yeah, that building has not been touched for whatever reason. You look around the room, everything's in perfect condition.
Well, this isn't suspect at all, is it, sir?
Keep your weapons hot.
You hear something in the room. A beaker falls to the floor and shatters. You hear someone go, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I'm not armed." And the person comes out with their arms raised. It's an older woman. She's probably in her late 60s. She goes, "Who are you? Are you with Dr. Banks's team?"
Not exactly.
26, ma'am.
The environmental systems went haywire, so I sealed this lab, and I've seen terrible things.
So have we all, Doctor.
She goes, "What the hell is going on? You're clearly SG, but you're not part of the regular crew here. Who are you?"
We're an SG team here, sent here to relieve and retrieve some important samples, specifically the sample you have here in this lab. However, when we arrived, the strange things started happening, and the reason why the environment was going haywire was specifically to avoid encountering your amoeba samples that got loose.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, to say the least. I had to shut down the environmental controls of this building. These samples are so sensitive to temperature. If we froze them, it would have killed them.
That's fair enough, Doctor. I appreciate that you're here.
She's like, "Okay, if I give you the samples, will you get me the hell out of here?"
I have a question. I Dr. Bob says out loud.
Yeah?
Why is it that you're not affected by what's going on when pretty much everybody else in the space is either completely turned into an amoeba zombie or been shot at or had disaster strike them? Why is this particular lab completely untouched?
She
he just pauses as everybody goes completely silent.
She kind of actually, everybody roll me perception.
Yep.
Something smells fucky in here is what I'm saying. That's all. Okay, so
natural fucking 20 for a 21.
19 for me.
You all notice her hands start to move towards her back.
Carter instantly levels his rifle at her. "Don't."
Doctor.
Dr. Banks was my husband. This was our life's work. We were asked by your governments, I might fucking add, to make the war winnable. We were told to do this at any cost necessary.
Okay, right now? That's it. Dr. Bob just goes, all right, that's it. Pulls out his clack blade and goes to attack her.
All right.
So, and it's just yells, sometimes you have to cut the cancer out to cure the patient.
All right.
I have had enough. Dr. Bob has had enough of this. And he pulls out his clack blade.
No, Dr. Bob's version
Saul
of
is going to,
with these
Saul
Monday to Friday snakes.
Yeah. Saul's going to let him.
All right. Roll for advantage.
I ain't stepping into the lizard man.
Nat 20.
Yes.
You pull out your clack blade, and before she can even move her hand towards the pistol she has hidden in her lab coat, it pierces her right in the chest. She looks up at you, eyes defiant with surprise. Why? But more like, it's not my responsibility now. So you stab her, and she drops to the floor, stone dead.
Was the surgery successful?
And Dr. Bob stands and goes, oh, I completely thought she was actually infected. Can we not put that in the reports?
As far as
and then I see the gun. Oh wait, she had a gun.
I put a hand on Bob's shoulder. Don't worry.
I just sorry. I had enough of this. I've had enough. I don't want to be touching this green, crappy goop stuff anymore.
Carter's is like,
we're all sick of this shit.
Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't lost my shit like that, Bob. Damn.
You also haven't been carrying somebody for the last 3 or 4 hours on your back.
All right. So Dr. Hugh kind of taps Bob on the shoulder and goes, over there in the sample vault. Look for the big silver case.
Thank you, Dr. Hugh.
And as we walk, Dr. Bob says, I still don't understand how she wasn't affected. Is like, can I look around the room to see, like, is this a completely different environment that's not connected to the same HVAC system?
It is connected to the same HVAC system, but she must be drawing air from an independent source.
So she has essentially isolated herself in there. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She shut it down. All of her computers are still up and everything else.
Do they have, like, does this lab have separate generators? Is that why there's power here still?
Presumably so, yes. They're like, each lab does have an independent power source to maintain containment, but those will essentially fail at some point if main power is not reconnected.
I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if there's a way I can access the self-destruct of this base.
All right, so going in through the main computer system, roll me a d20, high or low.
We're gonna go with high, and that is a 19.
Yes.
Okay, so this woman did not sign herself out.
It's a good thing I killed her before she had a chance to try to shoot at us and turn her computer off.
So her name is Dr. Christina Banks. She was the wife of Dr. Cedric Banks, and they were working on essentially a weapon of mass destruction here. All the data that's on her screens was simulation tests for aerosolizing this. Maybe they can use it as like a dirty Guald bomb, so to speak.
Any chance I can pull this data and put it on like a drive or something?
Yes, you can completely pull the like hard drives and do that.
Before that happens, Dr. Bob is going to posit a moral quandary. I just basically stopped Hitler. In taking these samples and taking this data, are we potentially making more Hitlers?
Dr. Hugh is like, the data is valuable. We can stop the Guald. We can wipe them all out. One shot.
Is this neurotoxin you're talking about, or the walking salads?
He goes, the creatures were only a part of it. We can synthesize it now. Those samples represent the first synthesized samples. It can be done on Earth safely. We drop that in the middle of a system lord gathering. The entire command structure is dismantled.
All right, cut him off of me. Let him out of his,
Carter
out of
takes
his
his combat knife and like drops Dr. Hugh. You be absolutely quiet, or I'm gonna let him perform surgery again.
Can I make a suggestion to Saul? Get proof of what was done here, but not everything that was done here. And then we're going to destroy it. And I say that as I stare at Dr. Hugh.
I'm sorry, Doctor, but this experiment, we need to know about it, but the reality is this is too dangerous for even us.
This is like you went and decided to make a cherry bomb and then built napalm, not knowing that you did it.
I was going to go with nuclear weapon, but that works too.
It's like you went to make yourself mustard gas and then made sarin gas, and you have no control over it anymore.
There you go.
This could change everything.
Carter walks up and he puts his weapon to his temple and says, I said be quiet.
I'm going to punch him in the face and knock him out.
Just knock him out, Bob.
Yeah, you pop him one right in the nose, and it knocks him right flat to the floor. He crumples like a heap of paper.
And I'm not carrying him. He stays. Whatever happens to him happens.
Carter just like the deepest breath and just lets it out. He's like,
I carried that dude like a baby.
And Carter pats Dr. Bob on the shoulder. He's like, there's just you're too good for this world, Bob.
Let's forget who I just murdered, though.
Murdered who?
So we're going to I'm gonna ask, is there like an empty sample container that we can fake so that we don't freak Kelly out?
You don't know what half of these mean. Dr. Bob might.
All right, so let me do some science stuff here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to science this one.
All right,
because some of these are compounds you've never heard of.
We want to fake it.
All right,
that we have the sample.
Cue the 30-second CSI montage, quick flashes as I'm going through. I'm looking at stuff. Let me see. I'm just looking at what my science. I got a +2 to science, so I'm going to roll that. Okay.
All right, go for it.
And while he's doing the science, Carter's just going to keep an eye on Dr. Hugh.
I was about to say this should be an intelligence-based roll, correct?
I guess, yeah.
Science is intelligence.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, so intelligence / science would be, I guess, if I'm applying anything to it.
Yeah, I would consider it general knowledge. So intelligence, I would roll.
So I rolled a 17, but what does that mean with my...
means you get a +2 to it, so it's 19
wait,
when you
said my intelligence?
Yes.
Yeah,
so roll your intelligence and then add +2 to it because of your skill.
Okay, so 19.
Okay, so you're able to look around the lab. You couldn't fake the results exactly to bring back a sample because it's too specialized, but you could bring back some of the research papers with stuff heavily redacted, or you could hand it to PK Lawyer himself and explain the situation. But
that's about as good as we got.
However,
we are not bringing that sample back.
Consider
this. Was he in on it?
Doesn't matter if he's in on it.
It doesn't matter if he's in on it. We can just simply...
If he's in on it, at this point, it might be time to go to Hammond.
We can at least stretch the truth on what happened here. The only people that are alive are us and this dude with the duct tape. And frankly, 3 against 1 with someone that was already a little crazy due to this stuff.
the doctor was still logged into the computer, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Can we check her emails?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to check the emails and look for any traces of, I don't know, NID or something, or benefactor type messages that might not be from, or who was sending in the commands from SGC.
You got, as you start looking through her emails, you do see her sending regular progress reports to someone named Jay Schneider. And they seem to indicate, they call the samples the compound, and that's all it's ever referred to as. And it talks about other Stargate planets that have been investigated looking for compounds similar to this.
Can we print a copy of this and put it in our pocket?
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
All right. So you print off copies of her emails. There's probably about 15 pages or so.
I just picturing a dot matrix printer going.
And Carter just peeks up. He has a, sir, Kelly might be in on this.
Which is why we're lying to her.
Which is what I was going to suggest, that she asked what happened to her and points to the lady doctor. She was gone. She went mad and was shooting at us.
Or she was already turned.
He looks at Bob. That's a good point.
We could just say we'll just say she's already turned. She attacked Dr. Hughes. We're leaving Hughes for dead. I don't care.
She attacked Dr. Hugh while my back was turned, killed him, and we had to kill her.
Yes.
You turned around and she killed him. You turned back around and said, Dr. Hughes awfully quiet.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys going to make your way back to the main lab?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So you start making your way back to the lab.
Did we actually sabotage what was there? Yep.
You just left it there as far as I know.
I'm literally sabotaging it.
Okay, so
right
all right. So what are you going to do? So the base of self-destruct can be activated from Mrs. Banks' station.
Couldn't we just, because she was trying to keep the temperature, couldn't we just sabotage the environmental controls to bring it down to the maximum? Like
exactly.
You could do that too. All right, you can do that.
We're just going to do that. We're not going to blow up the base. I don't think we need to blow up the base
at the current moment.
At this current moment.
All right. So you make your way back to the main facility. Dr. Kelly has got things installed in the ceiling. She's sitting there with Bobby, and they're like, "Okay, I think we're ready to go, gentlemen. It's now or never."
Do any of us have a flashbang?
Yeah,
Actually,
you would have flashbangs
question.
and stun grenades. So
yeah, I think we all have
at least one.
We all have a base kit, or no, base kit, and
Carter.
One of us has to have at least one flashbang.
Looks at Bob and says, "What if you just roared something out into the ether and conserve our ammunition?"
That could be.
All right, so
or both of you. He looks at Saul. I mean,
yeah.
Are we
gonna pull a Lion King at the end when Timon and
you're gonna Pride Rock this bitch? Yes.
Do we know?
Wow.
No. Carter goes to Saul and Bob. Do you guys know the hula?
Right.
I don't remember the lyrics, otherwise I would sing it right now.
All right, so Dr. Kelly goes, "We got to get as many people in the room at once. We got to dose them all at once."
This is like 0304?
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is we're trying to lure them in with loud noises.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run out and be the decoy.
All right.
And I run out and start screaming, singing "Who Let the Dogs Out?"
Yes.
This giant lizard man. Who Who let the dogs out? Who?
All right, so you run out to the front of the facility, start singing for as much as an Unas can sing, and you just hear things clamoring over the metal. You hear stuff being knocked over. Oh, they're coming for you. They're coming at you hard. So you start running back inside. These things start, they're shoulder to shoulder coming down that little metal hallway. They're just about to breach the doors of the lab, which Dr. Kelly has just left open. So these things rush in. You guys are all hiding behind tables. You're at the very back of the lab, so at least you have your backs against something. Kelly taps a button on a keyboard, and just this green mist just sprays down from the ceiling and starts raining all over them. Excuse me.
It sprays down and affects the GM.
Yeah, affects the GM. Everybody starts coughing and hacking. These creatures start writhing on the floor in pain. Most of them pass out, and as they pass out, they start coughing up liquid, and you see more of that same green goop on the floor beside them as whatever it is starts to leave their bodies.
And like the mossy and the plant bits that have like come out just start sloughing off their body.
Exactly. Like they start looking like people again.
What about the ones that aren't affected? Is there a reason for that?
Dr. Kelly goes, it could be a blood disorder. I'm not sure. Some people maybe should stay behind.
I was going to say, is this going to be like a shooting gallery right now? Anybody still standing has to get shot?
The other ones that are still standing, they just look very confused.
Okay, so they're not violent anymore.
No, they're just they don't know where they are. Like you see them because their like uniforms are tore, stuff like that. They're like, what the fuck happened to us? And they all just kind of start looking at each other. They don't know what happened. And they look around.
Saul's gonna walk up to them. I'm assuming most of them are the
mostly privates
guys.
And servicemen, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Cadet.
You're ranking officer right now.
Cadets, this is Commander Saul. Simply put, things went a little screwy at the moment. Thanks to the help of Dr. Kelly. Whatever was affecting you guys has been neutralized. Right now, our main goal is to get off this godforsaken hellhole and get back to the gate.
They all kind of nod their heads in agreement, and Dr. Kelly says, or she walks up to you, Saul. She places the dial home device in your hand and goes, you're all going home. I'm not. This place can't be allowed to stand.
I'm glad you agree with us on that, Doctor.
I did some terrible things, and there's no real way to say sorry for that. But if you take back the sample, you might change the war. That's all I can promise you. That's why we were here. We wanted to do something good.
Take back the sample. We will do that. Let's go. Bye.
Carter,
Saul gives Kelly a hug. Your sacrifice won't be in vain.
Carter salutes her like with all the respect that he can muster for somebody about to
So are we leaving
sacrifice?
Yes. Are we leaving other Bobby here too?
Bobby just kind of looks.
Or is he like, we getting the
We're going to ask we're going to obviously ask Bobby.
I just want to go home. he gives Kelly a big hug and goes, "I'll miss you on Friday mornings." And she goes, "I know. I'll see you again sometime."
And before Carter looks at Saul, sir, and then he looks at Kelly. Do you have a copy of the formula for this cure?
Everything is on the laboratory computers. This is what I got. And she hands over a hard drive and a hard drive enclosure. This is all the research data.
Carter takes and he tucks it like in between his chest and his vest, so at least we have that.
She goes, tell General Hammond, don't let what happened here happen elsewhere. Tell your base commander, PK Lawyer, there are enemies inside of us. Ones who will take any steps to end this war. And they could be worse than the Gould. You should go. You got about 10 minutes.
All right, I'm going to take I'm assuming the keys have some kind of, like, alarm.
Yeah.
Or something to indicate which keys they go to.
Yes.
So, I figure out which vehicle these keys go to, and everyone's piling into said vehicle.
Well, you got about at least 10 soldiers with you, so you would have to hoof it, but some of you could walk.
Is it one of those like military trucks, or?
Yeah, like it would be about the same size of a Hummer, so you're maybe getting 7 people in there.
I should be running beside. I'm too big to fit in there anyway.
Exactly.
All right, so you guys start making
me and Dr. Bob could easily hoof it. Everyone else hop in the Hummer. Carter, I would entrust to drive.
All right, so you guys all pile in.
Yeah.
You start hearing a alarm klaxon go off. Morning is now broke. The storm has now definitely passed. And as you start to drive off, you're probably about half a kilometer. You start hearing a series of sequential explosions.
Booms. Yeah.
And you can see that the facility has sunk itself into the ground. So you arrive at the Stonehenge-like gate. Again, you activate the dial home device. Gate opens. And you start leading through the base's guard complement. They start going through. And who's the last one to put the lights out, so to speak?
Me.
Who goes through last?
I'll be the last one through.
All right, so you leave, and you just see smoke coming from the distance, and the place seems oddly peaceful for the first time since you've landed there. All right, so you go through the gate. You arrive back at Phoenix Base. The gate crew looks very confused as to why everybody looks like hell. And General PK Lawyer's in the observation deck. He goes, "Commander Saul, can you and your team please come up for debrief in about a half hour and after you've all had a hot shower, please?"
And I would say Carter.
I would suggest a medical examination too.
Yeah, I think either Saul or Carter would have radioed through after we opened the gate to have bio defenses or decon, some like a decon team waiting for us just in case.
He goes, "Level 1 decontamination protocols are in effect." You see guys in like hazmat suits come out, start to spray everybody down, and goes, "When you go through decontamination, we'll go through your debrief, soldiers."
I'm fine. I could just go take a shower. Because the cure was made from my blood, right? So
yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this adventure on Stargate SG-TWIG. Well, what's going to happen? Evidently, there may be infiltrators or somebody who's willing to take extreme measures to deal with the Guald War. Who are they? Are they in charge of Phoenix Base? How far have they infiltrated Stargate Command? Well, I guess we'll have to find out to see if that's a thing. And how does the Gatherer play into all this now that there's an interplanetary super weapon on the table? We'll find out next time right here on Stargate TWIG. So from the great land of New Jersey,
Ken Reels playing Saul.
From the grand city of Kitchener,
Alex playing Dr. Bob.
And from the Canada's heartland,
JT from Saskatoon playing Lieutenant Carter Hall.
And I have been your Gate Master, Mike the Birdman, saying, and until next time, folks, Chevron's locked.